Formula One is riding a wave of global popularity like never before. The calendar groans under the weight of glitzy new blockbusters, each one bigger and flashier than the last. Miami dazzles with pastel skylines and celebrity-stuffed paddocks. Las Vegas, the neon playground of excess, has been given its own Grand Prix that plays more like a Hollywood movie than a motor race. Next year, Madrid will join the fray, another jewel in Liberty Media's crown. In Saudi Arabia, billions are being poured into building a futuristic circuit of staggering ambition, designed not just to host a race, but to scream its way into sporting history. But as Formula One chases glitter and spectacle, is the sport in danger of forgetting the very tracks and traditions that built its soul? And yet, while the sport charges forward into this era of spectacle, some of its traditional giants are left battered and bruised. Spa, once untouchable, clings to survival through rotation agreements. Monza, the temple of speed itself, must fight to prove it still deserves a permanent spot on the calendar. But perhaps the most shocking omission of all is Germany, the nation of Michael Schumacher, Sebastian Vettel, Nico Rosberg, the unstoppable force of Mercedes, and the soon-to-arrive might of Audi. Somehow, against all logic, against all tradition, against everything the sport once stood for, Germany is absent. That absence might not last forever, or so we're told. Stefano Domenicali, Formula One's ever-smiling chief executive, has cracked the door ajar. In a recent interview with Bild, he proclaimed that Germany belongs in Formula One and confirmed he is ready for talks with committed promoters. For a fan base that has watched its once glorious era crumble into silence, the words sound like hope, like a lifeline tossed into the abyss. But look closer, strip away the headline. The very fact that Germany needs to plead for a way back shows just how far it has fallen in F1's pecking order. For decades, Germany wasn't just another stop on the calendar, it was the beating heart of Formula One. The Nürburgring, christened the Green Hell, tested drivers in the 1950s and 60s with its merciless 21 kilometers of blind corners, sheer drops, and punishing surfaces. Those who survived it became legends. Later, the vast forest-lined Hockenheimring, with its screaming straights and brutal chicanes, became the canvas for countless iconic duels. These were not just circuits, they were cathedrals of speed, shrines where Formula One wrote some of its most unforgettable chapters. By the late 2000s, Germany was no longer just a stage, it was Formula One's stage manager. 2 races a year were the norm, a luxury granted only to the sport's true superpowers. Hockenheim would thunder with the German Grand Prix, while the Nürburgring hosted the European Grand Prix in alternating summers. The fans came in droves. Seas of red filled the stands as Schumacher fever swept the nation. Later, Vettel's meteoric rise gave them another hero, a wunderkind turned world champion. And in 2016, Nico Rosberg's triumph sealed the story of German greatness, crowning an era where Mercedes rewrote the rulebook of dominance. Germany was a motorsport empire. The thought that such a powerhouse could one day vanish from the calendar was not only unlikely, it was absurd. Yet the collapse came, not from dwindling passion, not from empty seats, not because the racing disappointed. It was something colder, something more merciless. Money. Under Bernie Ecclestone, hosting fees were already punishing. Circuits groaned under the weight of payments that climbed year after year. When Liberty Media took the reins in 2017, the demands only grew sharper. Hockenheim's circuit director, Jörn Teske, spoke with brutal honesty. Formula One must not ruin us. The venue tried to save itself by striking alternating deals with the Nürburgring, but the arithmetic never balanced. 1 year of survival only bought another year of struggle. In the end, both tracks buckled beneath the financial pressure. The last real German Grand Prix took place in 2019, a rain-soaked thriller at Hockenheim that proved the nation could still deliver magic. A one-off pandemic cameo at the Nürburgring in 2020 flickered faintly, a nostalgic reminder of what once was. But since then, silence, deafening silence. The truth is unavoidable. Germany didn't abandon Formula One. Formula One abandoned Germany. Look at Singapore to understand how the landscape changed. Introduced in 2008, its Marina Bay Street circuit is narrow, twisty, and rarely produces classics. Yet it became one of Formula One's crown jewels. Why? Because Singapore sold the dream. The government invested. Sponsors swarmed. Tourism boards turned the event into a global festival. The race itself almost became secondary. What mattered was the marketing, the glamour, the message beamed worldwide. And it worked. Singapore is sold out every year. It is less a Grand Prix, more a business masterstroke. Now look at Sepang in Malaysia, and you see the opposite. It delivered sensational races, unpredictable weather, fierce wheel-to-wheel battles, and breathtaking overtakes. But the economics never lined up. No government cash, no massive corporate structure, no tourism blitz. And so, despite its brilliance on track, track, Malaysia was cut. Germany's fate mirrors Malaysia's. Legendary venues, unforgettable races. But without a unified government push or a deep-pocketed corporate machine, the economics fell apart. Modern Formula One doesn't reward the best circuits. It rewards the best business plans. And that is what makes Germany's absence feel so outrageous. This isn't a country on the fringes of motorsport. This is Mercedes' kingdom, the team that dominated the hybrid era with machine-like precision. This is Audi's future, the company preparing to storm the grid in 2026 with the full weight of the Volkswagen Group behind it. This is the land of Schumacher, Vettel and Rosberg, 3 world champions spanning 3 eras of greatness. This is a country with one of the richest motorsport cultures on Earth, a fan base as deep and loyal as any in the world. On paper, Germany should be untouchable. Yet in reality, the sport looks elsewhere. Las Vegas secures a neon-soaked slot before Hockenheim can even raise its hand. Saudi Arabia not only builds one Grand Prix from scratch, but pushes for a second while Germany stands in the shadows. The verdict is cruel but undeniable. Heritage counts for little. Money, influence, and spectacle rule the day. Even Domenicali, who repeats that Germany belongs in Formula One, cannot hide the scale of the challenge. The calendar is already capped at 24 races. The waiting list of nations eager to join is long and cutthroat. And these are not just circuits lobbying. They are entire governments. Kings, sheikhs, and prime ministers are personally pushing their cases, waving vast sums of money and political influence to secure their country's place on the stage. Against such horsepower, nostalgia alone is powerless. Hockenheim has floated a compromise, a race every 2 years instead of annually. It is a lifeline, but hardly a bold one. The Nürburgring's chances are weaker still, remote, harder to market, commercially frail. Wildcards are whispered, like a Berlin or Munich street race, but with fierce local resistance to mega events swallowing cities, these are fantasies more than serious prospects. Domenicali's public assurances sound sweet, but the reality is ice cold. Formula One does not deal in charity. Those who pay, stay. Those who hesitate are replaced. So what now? The opportunity isn't gone, the window isn't closed, but the clock is ticking. Audi's arrival in 2026 is a golden bargaining chip. Mercedes too has every reason to ensure its home market is not forgotten. The fans remain passionate. Their presence at DTM, Formula E and WEC proves it. Yet momentum is bleeding away. Every year without a Grand Prix makes the fight harder. Sponsors drift elsewhere. Fans find new allegiances. Liberty fills the slots with hungrier, wealthier partners. If Germany is serious about a return, it must learn from Singapore. In 2008, Singapore didn't just host a race, it built a national project. Governments, corporations, tourism boards, and promoters all pulled in the same direction, and the result was a guaranteed slot for life. That is the blueprint Germany must follow. Without such unity, without such investment, it risks fading further into irrelevance while nations with little to no motorsport heritage rack up multiple Grand Prix. The truth is simple and cruel. The German Grand Prix should be on the calendar. Few tracks can match the adrenaline rush of Hockenheim, the historic weight of the Nürburgring, or the legacy Germany has poured into the sport. Few nations have given as much to Formula One, but in Liberty Media's world, heritage is an afterthought. Passion doesn't pay the bills. Do you think Formula One should bring Germany back to the calendar, even if it means dropping one of the new street races, or has F1 moved past caring about history and heritage? Let us know in the comments. Until next time, goodbye for now.